In Act 1, Byra of the Rotten Pack right here outside of Clearfell gives you your first optional reward, which is extremely important because it provides cold resistance. Then next up right here in the hunting grounds, you do have the crowbell that provides 2 weapon set passive skill points, which you can also use to normally increase your amount of passive points. You do not have to spend them as 2 weapon set passives. And also in the hunting grounds is the King in the Mist, which is actually a really tough area right here in Freythorn, and that provides you with your first 30 spirit, as well as an uncut spirit gem for you to use. Then in the Ogham farmlands, you have Una's hut right here, which has a little box. There you can find a green item that you then bring back here to Clearfell and then receive another 2 weapon passive skill points. Also right here in the Ogham village is going to be Renly's tools, and you need to pick those up so that you can actually get your salvage bench in every city and also into your hideout. With that, you can salvage items that have quality on them, or items that have sockets on them, which then actually give you the option to make an artificer's orb yourself that can then be applied to any item and therefore apply a socket to a martial weapon or armor. And then right here in the Ogham manor, we do have the candleboss boss right here in the first area, which is going to give you 20% maximum life. Then for Act 2 in Keth, you have the Kabbalah Constrictor Queen, which also grants you 2 weapon set passive skill points. Also in Keth, you have the Kabbalah clan relic dropping, as well as in the Bone Pits, you have the Sun clan relic dropping. And if you combine both of them and you go to the Valley of Titans right here, you will find a medallion shrine in which you can socket in the clan relics, and then you can choose between increased charm charges gained and increased mana recovery from flasks. Here you can just click on these and therefore change the stats that you're getting. This also repeats in cruel difficulty, where you can get increased life recovery from flasks. Almost at the end of your Act 2 playthrough, right here in Deshar, you will find the final letter from a green corpse lying around. That is going to be brought back to the caravan, and there you can get 2 weapon set passive skill points. Then very easy to miss in the Spires of Deshar, you have the Sisters of Garukhan providing +10 lightning resistance at the very top. Make sure to run around on the Spires of Deshar at the very top of the spires. And starting in Act 3, right here in the jungle ruins, you have the mighty Silver Fist that you need to defeat to gain another 2 passive skill points. If any of the bosses mentioned during this video is hard to you or you can't kill, make sure to check out my boss guide that is linked down in the description below. Then next up in the Venom crypts, which is located in the jungle ruins right next to the waypoint, you can actually get the Venom Drought quest, which is perfectly similar to the bandit quests in Path of Exile 1. In this case, you can choose between 3 things. Definitely make sure to look at all of the 3 options and choose the one that is the best for you. Then next up, you will kill Ignagduk for a 30% spirit, and this is connected to the infested barrens. The area, the Azak bog, is pretty big, and it takes definitely quite some time to find Ignagduk, but from my experience, Ignagduk is not on the edges of the azak bog. It's actually a little bit more in the middle. So if you can't find it, definitely check the middle portion of it again. Next is Blackjaw right here in Jiquanis. You can actually see that the Blackjaw is here before you go to the Sanctum, and this provides you with 10% fire resistance. Afterwards, when you are here in the Drowned City and you're on your way to the Apex of Filth, it's really important to stop by the Molten Vault, because here you are defeating the Forge Master, and that guy drops a hammer that you can then turn back in in the city to Oswald, which is then allowing you to use the reforging bench. You can use the reforging bench, for example, right here to do the old 3-for-1 recipes. In this case, we're combining 3 level 2 maps to 1 level 3 map. And last but not least, here in Aggorat, in the past, you will find the blood sacrifice. There you can get a sacrificial heart that you can then stab with a knife that is located in the Aggorat past. The sacrificial heart currently drops in multiple locations. I have seen it drop here in Exile and also in Aggorat itself, so definitely keep that in your inventory when you are exploring through Aggorat. And on the top right side, usually that is where the tile set is going to forward you to. There you can step the heart to get the 2 passive skill points. This will put you at 24 skill points in total, and from what I have seen and talked to with all the other players that I have come in contact with, that is actually the same value that everyone has. And then if you do all of this in normal and also in cruel, the stuff like the spirit and also the resistances will double. Therefore you get 20 cold, lightning and fire res, whereas the only thing that so far does not double is the King in the Mist. So if you do that in Act 1, you actually do not need to do that in Act 1 Cruel again. You will not receive another set of spirit. You will only receive that in Act 3 and also then back in Act 3 when killing the ignagduk in the azak book here in Act 3 in the big area where it's so hard to find the witch. All of this stuff is repeatable in the cruel difficulty again, and there you get mostly the same amount of rewards, whereas in Freythorn and the King and the Mists, you actually don't need to do that in cruel difficulty, and stuff like the Candlemass, instead of giving you flat life, is going to give you % maximum life, which again does kind of force you to do those regardless. The list to all of this is down in the description below, and if you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.